NIO stock was up 3.5% last week. It's up 43% in the last month and up 22% in the last 12 weeks. This stock is looking very interesting now. It's had 3 bullish weeks up. Last week there was some selling pressure, but it does look as if there is support at 445 for the move back up to 551. So in this video, I'm going to conduct a price analysis for NIO stock and talk about where it could be going next. Let's take a look. I'd like to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/DavidB for the 5 best stocks to buy now. Use my special link to get $200 off their epic annual subscription. Now, if you find value in my analysis of NIO stock today or other stocks on my channel, you may also find value in my email newsletter. If you subscribe, I'll share with you professional trading tips to help you make more profits trading stocks. Link down below, check it out. So NIO stock was up 3.5% last week. It has broken a downtrend line recently. You can see here, since the price has moved up to this higher base of 335 about 4 weeks ago, it's moved up quite bullishly. It's broken that downtrend line 3 strong weeks in a row, and it peaked out last week, 2 weeks ago actually, about 522. It was looking bullish, but I was expecting a pullback next week, some selling pressure to really test whether this move upwards is sustainable. Is it a counter trend to the big bear trend, or is this price action the start of a new uptrend, with NIO looking to break 551 and then push on to that 771 target? So last week was a mixed bag. Earlier in the week there was selling pressure. If we come across to the daily chart, we can see after last week being very bullish and closing high, immediately on July 28th, on the Monday, there was selling pressure with NIO. Sellers came in, they were selling the stock. Monday, Tuesday were bearish. Price moving down from around about $5, closing on Tuesday about $4.71. It gapped down on Wednesday, there was more selling, and on Wednesday it closed around about $4.51. Now I was expecting more selling on the Thursday and Friday to complete, a big pullback, a bearish week for NIO last week. But interestingly, the buyers came back in on Thursday. The buyers came back in aggressively and they bought the stock and they driven it up and they pushed it back up to a high almost $5 on that Thursday session. And on that session it closed high at 487. And on the Friday, there was more buying. Price ended up closing again at $5. So this is really positive for NIO stock. Sellers had a really good go on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, but a big reversal at the end of the week on Thursday and Friday. And it does look as if now, based on those last 2 trading days last week, that NIO is finding support at this level of $4.45. And it does look as if now next week, potentially, NIO could be looking to push higher and have another go at that key level, which is around about $5.51. So really positive for NIO stock last week. We know long-term NIO stock is in a bearish long-term downtrend. Since the all-time high of $66 back in January 2021, it has been sold off heavily over 4 years. It has moved down in stages. You can see I've marked up various downtrend lines, just confirming how the price has moved down in stages. And you can see on the chart, it does have a counter trend, periodically pushing the price back up against the long-term trend. So found a low here, about $11, counter trend back up $24. Here in October 2022, it found a low about $8.30 and there was a counter trend back up to here. Also here, $7, counter trend up to $16. And then more recently, we can see these two counter trends now. So this one here, it found support at 360. It's done that a few times at 360. It's pushed up to create that 771 peak, only for it to be sold off once again. And more recently, it found that support at $3 back in April this year, a few months ago. Now, since that key bottom, $3, which of course, it does look as if now that $3 marker, that might be the low for NIO. That might be the turning point where NIO is going to base from there and start moving up. It did push up for a few weeks and made that peak about 444 during the end of April. It was sold off, but as we can see on the chart, sellers couldn't take it past 335. So we've got a higher base for NIO. And the last 4 weeks have been bullish, particularly these 3 weeks here. This week here, July the 7th commencing, and the following 2 weeks. Big push up for NIO based on these 3 bullish weeks up. I was expecting a red bar last week with price potentially closing at around about 445. And price did touch that level last week, but NIO is looking good. It didn't close low last week. It wasn't a bearish week. It was actually a green bar. It did actually close about 3% above the open. So we've got that reversal bar here, this hammer candlestick, showing that price was rejected at 445. Sellers had their chance. They couldn't break that level. Buyers came back up and it closed high at around about $5. So a bullish reversal for NIO last week. And based on that pattern, that candlestick, it does suggest that next week is going to be bullish and we might see price challenge 551 next week. That's a real possibility. And of course, since this $3 low, we have had now 2 tests. So that first test here, 335, obviously higher than this low. And now of course that pullback last week into 445 is another higher base. So it does look as if now NIO is starting to form a short-term uptrend. It's not confirmed yet, it's still early days, but it's doing all the right things. It's showing all the right characteristics of a short-term trend evolving. Of course, we could get a reversal next week. Sellers come back in, and of course this reversal is short-lived. We might get a reversal the other way and it tests 445 again. That's possible. We're still in a high risk zone here whilst the price is under this 550 peak. For more confirmation, we do want to see price rise above this level and close above this level for the week to give us that confirmation that it does look as if this is not a counter trend to the bear trend. It's actually that short-term trend starting to move up. And as I mentioned in previous videos, if you're long-term on NIO, I do think this is the level to think about getting in long-term, above 771. It would remove all this price action out of the equation. And by then, you're going to have a number of higher lows and higher highs to confirm NIO is starting a short to medium-term uptrend. You can see on the daily chart, since that $3 low, we've got price moving up here. It's tested 335 once there. It's come back and tested it twice. It's sort of gone sideways here. Sellers couldn't take it lower. And then it's moved up here. There's been a little test there. It's found support at about $4, moved up once again. And more recently, it's moved to 522. It's come back and now it's tested 445 and it's passed that test last week. But of course, this price action is on the daily chart, so it's only short term. Now, over on the weekly chart, which is obviously offers more confirmation than the daily, since $3, we've had that move up. We've had that test. It's tested 335 twice, and now we've had that peak 2 weeks ago at 520. And then last week, sellers had a go. They couldn't break 445. So it's looking good. That's the second higher low we've got for NIO. So we've got that low here, $3, the higher low, the second higher low. So what we want to see now is a break of this key level of 551 and potentially price then to pull back and come here and test that level to test the selling resolve. Once it's broken, we want to see what sellers will do to see if prices can hold above that level. If it can hold above 551, that'll be your first, second, third higher low. And that would confirm the start of a medium-term uptrend for NIO. And then price more than likely is pushing towards that level of 771. So overall, NIO is looking good. It does look as if now this could be the start of a new uptrend. Last week, I was thinking it was going to close low and we'll have a big red bar this week. But actually we had a reversal. Thursday and Friday showed the buyers came back in and they didn't want to take that price lower than 445. So bullish reversal last week for NIO, very positive, but still early days. We want to see more buying come in next week and we want to see price break this 551 for more confirmation. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you bullish on NIO? Do you think this is the start of a short to medium term uptrend? Earnings is due in 33 days, so this could be a real catalyst to push this stock up towards $7 if management can deliver on their promises. Thanks for watching.